Mary is always happy, always laughing. She's just a joy to be around. She just makes our house livelier, I guess.
Mary's a very determined person, and she's almost a little bit stubborn.
We used to play tennis together, and Mary just wouldn't want to lose to me, especially since I'm younger. She's just always had that competitive nature.
Mary's senior year in high school, she competed at the state tournament with her sister Rachel, and they ended up finishing fourth in the state, and that propelled her into her college career. So she went to North Carolina to play on the college team. I'll never forget, I looked over at the clock, it said 3:34 in the morning. When we got the phone call, it had a caller ID and it said Coach Camerata from Mars Hill, and I told Rosanna, this can't be good. He told us that Mary was involved in a very serious accident and we needed to get to the hospital right away.
The day of the accident was pretty much the worst day ever, because seeing your best friend like that is just, it's really hard to take.
The doctor came into the room. He proceeded to tell me that she had a 10% chance of surviving the first night. He told me at that point that my daughter would probably be in a vegetative state the rest of her life.
When Mary was in a coma, we would speak to her as if she was awake. I think that that's the only way you can deal with that.
I told him I was going to pray and hope for a miracle. On day 15, Mary woke up.
The first time I saw Mary after she woke up, she had her eyes open and she could move and she could look at you, and you knew that she saw you and knew who you were.
Then she was ready to go to a rehabilitation center, so she got transferred to the Ohio State Medical Center in Columbus, and she spent 40 days there. She couldn't walk when she got there. She couldn't roll over. She couldn't hold her head up. The therapist down there worked miracles with her.
And when she started walking, it was just amazing. She was back, you know. My oldest brother, Johnny, he took a tennis racket down to Columbus, and they started hitting foam balls around, and Mary seemed to be more involved in that because it was something she remembered.
Within 40 days, she was ready to come home to our house. When Mary got back home within the first week, she went out and played tennis with me. She could actually play tennis again before she could eat again. She had no speech ability at all at that point. She could just say yes and no. So she had to go daily, to get speech therapy, to get physical therapy. So we would drive back and forth to Columbus an hour and a half for the next 3 months.
Right now, Mary communicates mainly with gestures. She can make sounds and she can repeat what you tell her.
She has spontaneous responses now where she starts the conversation with me, and she didn't have that before she had went.
It's difficult sometimes to understand what she's saying, and she can get frustrated. It obviously would be frustrating if you couldn't speak.
Her hopes and her dreams are to go back to college. They're saving her scholarship for her.
When I heard about Mary, I was compelled to do something. So I said, what if we came up with a DVD of Mary's story? I thought that would be a great way we could reach out to all the clubs. And I spoke to the CCO, Thomas Deere, and he said, absolutely, this is something that we need to do in the tennis community. We all can give back in situations like this. To see her on the court having fun and laughing, it's just so special. I think that her progress is amazing.
That makes us hope for a better future, for her to live a normal life.